This is the Northern Kane Educational Corp. Regular board meeting. Today is Monday, May 18th, 2026. It is 7 p.m. and I'm calling the meeting to order.
Chair Maniscalco?
Yes.
Vice Chair Casaro?
Present.
Director Fessler?
Present.
Director Berg?
Present.
Director Walsh?
Present.
Mr. Reeser?
Present.
Ms. Keating?
Present.
Quorum is present.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to recognize our guests. I believe we have Principal Wachowski, Miss Amy Girardi, and Mrs. Gillis. Did I miss anybody? Okay, thank you very much. Our board is very pleased to recognize our students on the Coyote Science Olympiad team. You can see some of their pictures there. On Saturday, April 18th, the Coyote Science Olympiad team competed in the Illinois State Science Olympiad competition for the second consecutive year. Our students participated in 22 events, and they competed against 20 of the top teams from across the state of Illinois for first through fifth place medals. Our team demonstrated tremendous growth this year, quadrupling its medal count. That's quadrupling its medal count from the previous year's state competition. Our Coyote students earned medals in 4 events: Circuit Lab, Heredity, Water Quality, and Code Craze. In total, 7 Coyote teams placed in the top 10 in their respective events, highlighting the depth and strength of the program. This achievement reflects the dedication of our students, coaches, and staff. It also showcases the growing success of STEM opportunities in our schools. Before recognizing our outstanding students with certificates, I would like to invite Mrs. Lydia Gillis to share more about the events and the team's incredible accomplishments.
Oh, Mike. Good evening, board members. Thank you, and audience, team members. Thank you for having us here tonight to brag on ourselves a little bit. The Science Olympiad team has had great successes, as Chairwoman Maniscalco discussed. We've had great successes in our 3 short years. We've had 15 students that make from 5th, 7th, and 8th grade. Schools with 1 team are considered varsity. Therefore, when we compete against other varsity teams that are usually made up of 7th and 8th graders or all 8th grade teams, and that's why our successes are even more meaningful. Our practices run from 90 minutes, and we are competing all school year from October to March for 1 event. We don't have a regional, or a sectional, or midterm. 1 day determines whether or not we move on to state. So I applaud the dedication of the students for that. As I call your name, come up to the front, and then I'll talk a little bit more about how awesome you are. Ethan Anamalu. Right here. And I'll call those names of the students who aren't here either. Adve Agarwal, Evan Bogseth. Gavin Clayton, Jekka DeGoma. This is Adve. Come on over, Adve. Ariana De Los Reyes, Xander Gold. Gavin Long, Aiden Macasso. Angelo Melgar, Porvid Nayak, Kevin Och, Victor Ogunkoya. Damian Special, and Micah and Micah Vinoki Agunu. Okay. There are 23 events that make up a Science Olympiad competition. Some topics overlap the current science curriculum, but many are new and require lots of research. Each event has a team of 2 or 3 students. Even though they may medal, those wins contribute to the success of the entire team, thus leading to our theme this year, One Team, because we're all working towards the same goal and everyone can help throughout our practices. In our regional event this year, we medaled in 9 events. Those events were Code Busters, Dynamic Planet, Experimental Design, Heredity, Machines, Mission Possible, Potions and Poisons, Remote Sensing, and Water Quality. Those 9 medals allowed us to achieve 4th place in a regional event, which qualified us to go to state. So as Ms. Maniscalco mentioned, we went to state in April at the University of Illinois, and we competed against 20 other charter schools, lab schools, and STEM specialty schools, but the students held their own. Overall, we had 7 teams finish in the top 10. They don't know that, so they don't know which teams yet till our party next week. Circuit Lab, well, our medal winners were Circuit Lab, which was Adve and Xander. They they finished in 4th place. The Heredity team of Micah and Gavin finished 4th place. Also finishing 2nd place, Micah and Gavin for water quality. And Code Craze 4th place was Angela Melgar. I'd like to recognize the team parent, Ms. Finoki. She stepped in for me when I had to attend staff meetings, and during the event, she managed the room, so she kept everything running and kept us on schedule. I'd like to thank these staff members for their help along the way. So who helped us prepare for state with Chromebooks and packing boxes, Ms. Engelhardt, Ms. Girardi, Mr. Holloway, Ms. Stewart. For overall support throughout the entire year, Mr. Lindgren and Ms. Wachowski. The girls and boys basketball coaches and Mr. Hernandez for allowing the students to miss practices or split the practice between Science Olympiad and their sport. Ms. Gilly's kindergarten class who loaned us their dominoes. And our parent volunteers throughout the event, Ms. Kim, Leilani, Jericho, Tina, Peter, Katie, Krista, Dami, and Bria. So thank you too for our board for allowing us to have this after school activity for sports of the mind, because STEM education is important, and these students are now going to be eligible, hopefully as they move to, most of them, to Hampshire High School. We're trying to show our matriculation of students here that go to Hampshire and start the Science Olympiad team at Hampshire, where the base of that will be our students or students from Cambridge Lakes. And if they continue participating in that, they will then be eligible for different scholarships to help them go to college. I'm honored to coach them, and I look forward to what successes we have for next year. Thank you.
Well, Mrs. Gillis, I'd like to recognize you and thank you for your outstanding leadership and the dedication to coach our Coyote Science Olympiad. This entire team has your guidance, your encouragement, and no doubt your countless hours of support in our students. And they've grown not only in their knowledge of science, but also engineering, and most importantly, teamwork, problem solving, as well as perseverance. It's programs like the Science Olympiad that are so important because they do inspire our students to explore STEM opportunities. It also encourages them to think critically and to build their skills that will definitely prepare them for future success, not only in the classroom, but in the world. I want to thank you, Mrs. Gillis. The next person I'd like to recognize is congratulations. The next person I'd like to recognize, it's their name, yeah. This is Ethan Adamolo. Right here, sure, yeah. The next person is Xander Gold. The next person is Damien Special. The next person is Evan Butts. Ade Agawam. Okay. And we have one more to recognize. Victor Abumamoya. I want to congratulate everyone here. And again, thank you to Mrs. Gillis and thank you for the work that you've done together to celebrate this moment. Thank you. Thank you once again. And I want to thank everyone who has been in attendance until this part of our meeting. You, of course, are welcome to stay. We encourage you to stay, but you also may have other things that you may want to attend to. So you're welcome to do that as well. Thank you. Okay, we're at item 2 on our agenda, which is our D300 report with Ms. Shelley Nackey.
Thank you. Two items to share tonight. Dr. Smith and Dr. Gavell were able to visit the charter school on May 12th. They had a great opportunity of visiting art classes, looking at orchestra, practicing, and a kindergarten classroom that was creating artwork that would later serve as sentence writing activity. That was pretty exciting to watch. In addition, we also did complete our special education audit of IEPs and provided that feedback to Mr. Razor and Ms. Parker last week. I'm very happy to report that it was very successful, and Ms. Parker and the team are doing an amazing job at that. So just wanted to share some great news.
Thank you. Okay, we're now at item number 3, and 3.1 is the approval of our agenda. So moved.
Second.
Vice Chair Casaro,
Yes.
Director Fessler,
Yes.
Director Burke,
Yes.
Director Walsh,
Yes.
Chair Maniscalco.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. I need a motion to approve our remote participation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Chair Casaro,
Yes.
Director Fessler,
Yes.
Director Burke,
Yes.
Director Walsh,
Yes.
Chair Maniscalco.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. We're now at item number 5. Any comments from the audience?
None at this time.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 6, which is our CEO report.
Good evening, board. Thank you for everyone being here online and in person. We'll start off with our enrollment summary. And so we are at 707 total in the charter school. That comprises 657 NKEC seated and 50 in TCLA. Our preschool is at 111. Are there any questions over the enrollment report? Okay, I will move on to our registration summary. At this time, we have 656 students that are registered for next year in the seated. K-8 seated in TCLA, we have 35 with a total of 691, and the preschool is at 56. As of today, this was the end of, or this was the beginning of May, the end of April when we pulled this report. As of today, we are at 711 students. So we have already surpassed our current enrollment figures. And so we are getting closer and closer to the goal of 720 that we set for ourselves. And our preschool continues to inch forward and as the months play out until we open preschool in fall.
Mr. Razor, can I ask a question?
Sure.
What do you think the success can be attributed to? Is it one thing? Is it multiple? What is your thought on that?
I think it's multiple. I think it's, you know, that we've done a very good job of making sure that the community knows about our school. We know that this area of the west, I would say suburban area is growing out here in D300. So where other areas in Illinois may not have the population growth, we're seeing that. And we can see that with all the homes being built around us. So in addition, the offerings that how we're differentiating ourselves academically, I think that draws families in more and more. So a combination of all of the efforts of our educators and then making sure that we're getting the message out that we're here and we're accepting students. And this is a place that if you want something different, you can have it. And I think that's what's drawing people in.
Thank you.
Any other questions over registration? Okay, if not, I will turn it over to Mrs. Keating for the treasurer report.
Thank you. We're looking at the 9 months ending March 31st at this time. And year-to-date revenue is at 8.7 million, which is 300,000 above the budget we had set. Total operating expenses is at 7.6 million, which is 700,000 below the budgeted amount. And that's resulting in a spend down of 400,000, almost 450,000, which is favorable compared to our budget, which was set at 1.1 million. We thought we'd be at. So we're doing very well at this time. Overall, revenue is performing very favorable. This month, we saw an increase in the tuition that we received because of the PCTC rate that was increased. So now we are generating revenue of another $75,000 a month. Lunch program continues to outperform the expectation. We're at $160,000 for the year to date. Also, and the participation and it is in-house food that we are preparing. Northern Kane income remains favorable at $122,000 for the month, primarily due to the higher interest rates that we're getting because we have a strong cash balance right now. And just to finish the highlight our revenues, our school-based and auxiliary programs continue to have steady participation and help supplement our revenue streams. On the expense side, total operating expenses remained well controlled and below the budget that we had anticipated. Some of the over budget items for expenses included the personnel costs, and that is just due to the timing of the unbudgeted bonuses we had. Corporate administrative and operating expenses are unfavorable right now, and that's due, as we've looked at it, as the auditing and the legal fees, strategic planning fees, insurance adjustments, and compliance testing that we were not anticipating. But on the positive side, there's favorable variances in the charter school program expenses, campus operations, schooled out programs. And that is due because we have improved our purchasing practices and reduced our maintenance activities. And we just are having a very strong cost management on this. Non-operating and capital items are slightly favorable. And those type of items are your depreciation, amortization, and non-interest. But they should remain stable for the rest of the year. We also have a loss of fixed asset disposal. Again, we do not budget for losses of fixed asset or of any kind of disposals. So that is an unfavorable variance. And currently the loss for the year is $35,000. Overall, you see stable operations. And well-controlled costs of our expenses. The organization reports a year-to-date spend out of ISED of $400,000, and we expect that to continue to perform and decrease as the year finishes on this year. So that is it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
And the last thing is that we did post our requirement for Emma for our bond requirements of our third quarter financials. And so those were posted earlier in the cycle. And that is all for the CEO report.
Okay. Moving on to item number 7, which are our consent items, bill payments, asset disposal, and the minutes of April 16th, 2026 for our special board meeting, as well as April 20th, 2026 for our regular board meeting and closed session meeting minutes. I need a motion to approve those consent items as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Chair Casaro,
Yes.
Director Fessler,
Yes.
Director Burke,
Yes.
Director Walsh,
Yes.
Chairman Escalco.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item number 8 is new business with Mr. Razor, strategic planning goals.
So as you can see up here, that what we agreed to, what the board approved, it was our mission and our values. So based off of our mission and our values, and then our 4 focus areas, we were tasked with creating our goals for the entire 5-year cycle of our strategic plan. So the next several slides, I will go through the different goal areas and offer the board the opportunity to provide feedback between now and our board meeting in June, when we would bring back the final reading for acceptance to move forward starting July 1. So our first focus area is experiential and deep learning. The priority is we will provide an innovative and flexible environment to cultivate meaningful learning experiences. So goal number 1A is literacy achievement. By June of 2031, the percentage of students meeting or exceeding proficiency on the state ELA assessment will increase from 45.3% to at least 70%. Goal 1B, math achievement. By June 2031, the percentage of students meeting or exceeding proficiency on state math assessments or the state math assessment will increase from 35.3% to at least 60%. We took into account like schools within that are within our well, are like schools, right, are comparables that have about a 30 to 35% free and reduced lunch, and looking at the demographic data of where we primarily pull from, which is the Pingree Grove area, and looking at the surrounding areas to see where we should, based on our parent education, stand and income status, and where our students should be actually performing. So, although these two achievement goals may look audacious, I do believe that when we're looking at 5 to 7% increases over time, the goals are attainable. Go ahead.
I would just say for the record, I mean, I applaud the fact that those are big goals, but I mean, generally speaking, a 3 to 4% increase per year is a really robust goal. So, I mean, again, just for the record, because I don't want to come back in, 5 years and say, hey, 70% we didn't reach it, that's a failure. I would say that even if we got to 55 to 60%, that would be significant in terms of an increase. And again, just thinking of historical kind of averages. So I think that's robust. If you get 70, that'll be amazing. Miss Girardi, but again, I think realistically, if we got to 60, I would be very pleased.
Any other feedback on those first two? I will take that in and look through it, and then if there's anybody else in between now and June, if you want to add in any comments, just go ahead and email them to me.
I mean, it's such an unpredictable test that every year it's a different test. It's not the same test. It changes so much. It's like a moving target. Having fought this battle as a former superintendent, it's just hard to get increases. But yeah, I applaud the high bar, Mark.
Okay. Thank you. Goal 1C, experiential literacy integration. And we can combine these two because they are repetitive, but 1C and 1D, math integration and literacy integration. And so by June of 2029, 100% of our literacy units and math units will include one real world problem solving task aligned to experiential learning. So that looks like a performance task or a project along with an objective test of some sort to go along with it. So we're giving ourselves the 3 years to be able to build out the assessment systems that we need to, with the teachers going through and professional development, so that we can make sure that we are meeting both our experiential learning plan and our idea of deep learning at the same time.
Can I ask a clarification?
Absolutely.
It says all grade levels. Does this apply to ALP students as well?
Yes.
I also applaud this. So recently, one of the school board members from District 300, who I've known for many years, reached out to me and asked me to complete the facilities planning survey. So I did that, and then in the aftermath sent a text back and just said, so I also have 5 kids who have graduated from District 300, and just, mention them that they may want to look at Cambridge Lakes and some of the work that we're doing around experiential learning, because I think although my kids have had good experiences, I like the deliberateness of really integrating this into the work that we're doing in classrooms. So yeah, I did mention to one of the board members to kind of take a look at some of the things that are happening out at CL, Cambridge Lakes.
Thank you.
For the record.
Move on. If there's no other questions over focus area number 1, I will move on to goals for focus area number 2. Focus area number 2 is dynamic, mission-driven educators and staff. The priority is we will recruit, develop, and retain high-quality professionals who drive excellence across our organization. Goal 2A, employee performance achievement. By June 2031, at least 85% of employees will meet or exceed their annual performance goals as measured through the organization's formal evaluation system, supported by structured goal setting, coaching, and mid-year progress. Are there any questions over that one? Goal 2B, values integration and talent systems. By June of 2027, so next June, the Cambridge Lakes Learning Center values and decision-making parameters will be fully embedded in 100% of our hiring, onboarding, and performance evaluation processes, as evidenced by aligned rubrics, interview protocols, onboarding materials, and evaluation tools, and verified through annual process audits. Questions over goal area 2 or goal 2B? Goal 2C, Performance Excellence Framework Implementation. By June of 2028, the Performance Excellence Framework will be implemented with 100% fidelity across all departments, including goal setting, coaching cycles, feedback structures, and evaluation practices, as measured by internal implementation rubrics and annual administrative review.
So what will that process look like?
So, the first process, so we first started piloting some of these ideas this year, and next year we'll put it into the first full year of implementation, of making sure that we not only have our mission and our values embedded in there, but also that when we are going through the process, we're getting feedback if we have to change any of the excellence framework, right? And so that's why we're allowing 2 years to build it out, because there's a lot of education that goes along with that. So through the professional development and feedback loops, we'll get the feedback and then look at fidelity and by the end of June of 28. So it really has to do with a lot of educating our employees and making sure that they fully understand what the expectations are. And they give us feedback on those expectations and structures to make sure that we're helping them drive their work forward.
So is the assessment based on their feedback, or are you actually going in, observing, assessing?
Yes. So the evaluation will have the observation components.
Okay.
And then the individual goal setting, so that each educator has to set their goals, and then those are reviewed 3 times per year.
Thank you.
And so the goals right now for the first at least 3 years are focused solely on engagement. So we will look at baseline engagement data that's triangulated through the student, the teacher, and the administrator. And we'll get that baseline data and then look and see how the experiential learning and the lessons are engaging the students, with the idea that if our student engagement increases, then our outcomes will increase. But if we just put it solely on outcomes and we don't offer that professional learning opportunities to change instructional practice and engage kids, then it's not going to elicit the outcome.
So how are you measuring the student engagement?
So that's where the students will take a survey. And so Mrs. Girardi is actually piloting different surveys with kids right now to make sure like some of them need emojis, right? To be able to say where they're at. But we're using the Schlechte model of student engagement to be able to elicit that. Then the teachers will also fill out a survey on it, and then through administrative walkthroughs.
Okay. Thank you.
So the goal is to make it, valid and reliable.
It's very powerful. I mean, very, very, very few school districts measure student engagement. So I'll be interested in hearing more about that as we kind of progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any other questions over focus goal area 2? Okay. Focus number 3 is responsible resource stewardship. We will meet the terms of our charter agreement and demonstrate areas of excellence. Goal 3A, financial accountability. Annually, NKEC will achieve 100% clean, unmodified annual financial audits for each fiscal year, fully meeting all requirements outlined in the charter agreement for Cambridge Lakes Charter School as verified by our independent auditors. Goal 3B, academic performance benchmarking. By June of 2031, CLCS will meet or exceed the average math or reading performance of comparable D300 schools annually as measured by state proficiency rates and reported in district comparison data. Other questions over focus area 2 or 3?
Just well done on goal 3A. I think Dan and I at every finance meeting continue to be impressed with the work that you and Diane do around finance. And really the responsibility of maintaining our facilities, best practice instructional practices. Great job.
I echo what Art just said too. I fully agree. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Walsh. All right,
I have a question.
go ahead.
On the focus for 3, where it's talking about responsible resource stewardship.
Mhm.
Where we're talking about academic performance benchmarking. Educate me on how that fits in terms of, I'm reading average math and reading performance. So from my perspective, that would fall into a different bucket, but educate me on why it falls into this bucket.
Because when we look at our priority, that fleshes it out, that defines the overall goal, it talks about our charter agreement. And so I wanted to make sure that the 2 main factors that come out in our charter agreement were included in this focus area, in the goals. So although our first one is really about our school improvement, and this one is very directly tied to the charter renewals.
So if I were to put it in my words, that responsible resource stewardship, what we're saying is the funding that goes to our school is tied to academic performance, and therefore it fits under this goal because we use our resources wisely and we obtain the goals for our students that are expected.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Mhm.
Good question. Last but not least, someone's favorite, focus area number 4, school identity and visibility. I won't say who it is. The priority is we will cultivate greater community understanding and respect for our school's mission and work. Goal 4A, family and community advocacy. And so by June of 2031, NKEC will maintain a net promoter score of at least 74% annually as measured through standardized family community surveys administered each school year. We did our benchmark was 74% this year, that we did in the fall, in October. And so that is my understanding is that's a very large or high net promoter score. And so we want to keep that benchmark at that time, at where it is at 74% and maintain it. If we can go up, that would be phenomenal. Goal 4B, employee satisfaction and engagement. By 2031, at least 75% of employees will report high levels of job satisfaction annually as measured through a validated staff engagement survey aligned to organizational culture and retention metrics. That we also did a survey in October, and 75% was our baseline. And so that is extremely high for employee satisfaction and engagement. When you look at other industries, not just education. And so we want to maintain that moving forward. Are there questions over the goals for focus area number 4?
I have a question. On the NPS, do you have a benchmark for other schools? So in other words, when there's an NPS, generally within an industry, you're comparing yourself to others in the same industry. Is that how this will work, or will it just establish a baseline and then
It did establish in the K-12 setting. I can't be sure. I'll follow up and find out if it was in Illinois or if it was the industry standard across the country.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
industry standard is 62 to 72% across the country. Much lower for kids under the age of 25, believe it or not, 53% job satisfaction.
For sure. But I was looking at goal 4A in terms of where that benchmark is. I think Mr. Razor gets where I'm going.
Oh,
I will get it for you.
And I agree with you on the job satisfaction. I understand that. and there will be a lot more benchmarks there. But what I'm getting at is that it's more unique for a school to do an NPS, which is very exciting. And it'll mean more if we know where the
Where the
benchmark
benchmark
is.
is. Yeah. Okay. Are there any questions over this first reading or any other additions that?
It is interesting that as you look up the data on parents and school satisfaction, generally, it's like when you ask about education, it's very low, like 50-60% think that education is a good place. But when you ask them about their own school, it's like 90% plus are satisfied with their own school. So I'll also be curious to see what kind of benchmarks that you come up with, Mark.
Mhm. Exciting.
Thank you very much. And that is all I have for new business.
Okay, we are at item number 9. We're running 16 minutes ahead of time. So is there any board discussion? Okay. Hearing none. That means we will move into closed session with a motion to move into closed session according to OMA exception section 2C1, which is the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body.
So moved.
Second?
Vice Chair Casaro,
Yes.
Director Fessler,
Yes.
Director Burke,
Yes.
Director Walsh,
Yes.
Chairman Escalco,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, we're expected to be back in 25 minutes. No action to follow. And to return to open session.
So moved.
Second.
Vice Chair Casaro,
Yes.
Director Fessler,
Yes.
Director Burke,
Yes.
Director Walsh,
Yes.
Chairman Escalco,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Vice Chair Casaro, Director Fessler,
Yes.
Director Burke,
Yes.
Director Walsh,
Yes.
Chairman Escalco,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thanks.